Hi, welcome to Hideaway Homestead. I'm Carol. Our video tonight will talk about raw pack chicken and how to pressure can it. We have found this to be very helpful to us as we plan meals, and we were able to score a really good price on boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and that's our favorite thing to can. Easier, I suppose. So watch us tonight as we go through the pressure canning process of this chicken, and then we'll look forward to how we use it in different recipes. Chicken and non-acidic foods other than tomatoes and strong acidic fruits needs to be pressure canned for safety. We have learned a tip to put some white vinegar into our water that the jars are going to boil in and be pressurized in. That keeps sediment from building up on the outside of the jars and just makes a nicer product when you're done. So I'm going to put in one good glug of distilled vinegar, and we'll get this water heated. It'll be ready when we come back with the full jars of chicken meat. So here we go. This afternoon Kevin took a good bit of time, chopped up all of the chicken breasts into small chunks. We have put boiling water in our clean canning jars, which will help them get all sterilized, and will also hopefully bring them up to the temperature, closer to the temperature of the boiling water they'll be sitting in. So that'll help them to not crack. The idea from the instructions, and I'm following the Ball Blue Book instructions and also some instructions from a master canner that I read again online today, tell you to put the raw meat, and this is a different technique than if you had pre-cooked the meat and had broth, to put the raw meat in here and leave at least an inch or right at an inch at the top. That's right to the bottom of the rings on the jars, so that's what we have for this one. Then we'll come back and wipe the tops down and put the lids and the rings on them. But for now, I think I'm just going to try to get the process, get several of these loaded all at one time. This is very hot water in these jars. The canning funnel will help to keep grease and other food products from the rings, the top of the jars, and that will help them to seal better. You don't want any kind of food or anything on those rings that will keep it from sealing. They suggest that you not pack it too tightly in there. This will make its own broth as you cook it down, so you don't have to add liquid to it or broth. We got the majority of these jars packed, and we added a half a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. They suggest that you do not use iodized salt or something like that because it can make your broth cloudy. It doesn't ruin it or make it unsafe, it just doesn't look quite as nice. These jar lids have been soaking in very warm water to sort of soften up the rubber seal on them. We wipe down the lids of each jar to get all debris or any kind of oil that might be there, but we really were careful not to get any oils on them. So we will put these lids on. We're using brand new lids and reusing the rings. That's okay, but the lids should be new every time. So we've got these in the pressure canner, standing in water already. We'll We'll make a little bit more room and get ready to put the lid on. There you go. We twisted that, locked it down tight. For our Central Florida altitude, we only need to use 10 pounds on this. So once the steam comes up and starts coming out, we'll let it run for 10 minutes at steam coming out to sort of pressurize it and to make a good steam level. Then we'll put our weight on it and start our cooking time after it starts reaching its temperature. Right now the stove is on high to bring up the temperature, but eventually we'll crank that down a little bit ever so slowly until it reaches just a good level and it rocks but doesn't take off. So we'll come back in a few minutes once this reaches its steam pressure. Our pressure canner has been canning away, pressurized for 75 minutes, an hour and a quarter, for the pint-sized jars at our almost sea level altitude. The instructions say to now turn off the stove top. We can either move this off the burner or we can leave it there to cool. One thing I did want you to hear or see is this rocking weight at the top. And you can also perhaps see that this little button here is raised up once the pressure canner is pressurized. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and probably in a few minutes we'll have Kevin to slide it. It gets quite heavy with all of these jars full of good yummy chicken in it. So we'll get him to move it off so it will cool faster. And then once it cools, the little button here will fall down. And at that time you can take the weight off and eventually let it lose its pressure to the point that you can take the lid off. But that'll be probably about a half an hour before we can actually take everything out and set it on the counter here. While we're waiting for our little button to collapse, showing us that the pressure has come down on the pressure canner, we thought we'd mention a few recipes that we use this cooked chicken for. It is so helpful to us for making quick meals on busy days. Recently we made chicken and broccoli casserole. We used the little French fried onions for crunch on the top. It's a very good dish and came together so fast. And then of course there's chicken and yellow rice and white rice or mashed potatoes with chicken and gravy that we make out of this. You think of something else, Kevin? What else have we made out of it? Chicken salad. He's taping, but he's not coming up with a lot of other ideas. We had a whole list earlier. And also to talk about the cost factor. We were able to buy these chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, for I think $1.49 a pound. Now, in a perfect world, we would be raising our own meat birds and we would have our own fresh, home-raised chicken, but our lives aren't there right now. So, it was a very good deal. Pretty much you can get a pint of chicken for a pound. A pound of chicken fills a pint jar. Let's say it that way. So basically, at most, these are costing us $2 for a pint of chicken, and no preservatives that we have added. And so it's a really good deal. Usually when Kevin and I make a meal out of this, we get usually 2 meals, total of 4 servings out of a pint of chicken. So it's a very economical but oh so quick when we come back from working in the homestead or something like that in the afternoons, just to Warm this up, add a few ingredients, and we've got a nice meal, and not very expensive either. Just a couple of things for you to think about. Maybe you can give us some suggestions of recipes that you know of and like in your families that use cooked chicken. Give us some more ideas of what we could do with this once we get them out of this pressure canner. The button went down eventually, and the pressure has gone down. We've taken the extra weights off the top. So now I will twist the lid. You always need to make sure that you remove this so that the steam doesn't get into your face or into your body. I'll just set it here to continue to cool. It smells good. It smells a little bit chickeny. And so I think a lot of the vinegar water from within here has evaporated or turned to steam. I don't know if Kevin can show you close up enough of this, but this inside the jar is still boiling. You can see the bubbles coming to the top. And remember, we didn't put any liquid in here, but this is full to the top of broth that it made on its own. So that will be interesting. See how that turns out. We're hoping that maybe some of these will cool quickly enough for you to hear them pop as the lids get sucked in as the pressure decreases inside the jars. We put them on several layers of towels so that they are insulated, protects our countertops, but it also protects the jars from too big of a temperature difference that would cause them to crack or explode. We had one jar that we used for broth, so there's the broth. I had a little bit of space, so we canned some broth at the same time. There you go. 9 jars of chicken and 1 jar of broth, and that's a pretty good haul for this night. Glad you were able to come along with us and watch the process. Please give us some comments. Let us know what you would use this cooked chicken breast for in your house, and give us a thumbs up. Oh, did you hear one pop? Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see you often.